Standby Network.
Here we go.
And now on BBC One, The Val Dinnigan Show, Christmas Special 2021.
Most people, Justin, watching this will have zero idea who Val Dinnigan is, by the way.
Never liked the man. Couldn't stand him.
He was a very sort of folky Irish guy who used to come out at Christmas with lots of his little friends and stuff. So, hello, and Merry Christmas, I suppose. Not Christmas yet, but I see here John's asking, will I be doing my version of the Queen's speech? The Queen's speech is recorded in about November, so probably not.
Yeah, let's hope she makes it to Christmas Day. Yes. Well, they're coming thick and fast tonight already. Evening, lads. Is tonight's the last of the year? Is it, Marty?
No, we'll do a wee bit on Christmas. No, we're not going to do a full show on next week. We'll probably just do a wee pared down one, and it'll probably just be a bit of a chat. Let everybody see what everybody got for Christmas, and see if there's any special bottles was had or whatever. We'll just have a wee chat, sort of maybe an end of the year roundup kind of thing, and that'd be what we'll do. And then the following week, we'll be putting out a show, but we're going to get a recording to go out, because we kind of take a week off, and that'll be it. We're going to kind of take a week off. We'll just not be live. We might do a wee drop in and then send something out. If that's all right with everybody, if that's okay with everybody. And
the only reason we're not doing a full show is it actually falls on a Saturday, Christmas Day this year, and we can't move it to Monday like everybody else does, like the bank holiday, because that doesn't work. Doesn't work. Try not to drink midweek.
Says who? Oh, right.
There you go. There you go. Patrick Mulkey says good evening. Peter Stewart says good evening. Yes, I got a case of that today. Thank you very much. Michael Massey says evening, lads. Sean O'Neill, evening as well. Rodney, there's Ferrero Rocher himself. There's Ferrero Rocher.
Mr. Ferrero.
How's the ambassador's ball going?
I always think the Ferrero Rocher guys, for this time of year, they're sort of busy.
I would imagine they're working around the clock. There's Peter Stewart saying his dad loved watching Val Dinnigan. Couldn't stand the man. I hated Saturday nights when he was on. Actually, it repulsed me incredibly. Just something about the man, the show, the myth, the legend I didn't like. I understand why people like them, but give me Foster and Allen any day. There's Mark Bingham, evening chaps. Mark Diamond, good to see us again. Great night last night. What time did you call it quits? Thomas Jones, hi everyone. Peter Stewart's on the Bushmill saw turns this evening. Yes, I'm still on this Redbreast trough. It's amazing I have it left. I mean, if Marty can drink warm Guinness from the tin, I can drink from a sherry glass. So don't worry about it.
Guinness should always be drunk warm. I don't like. No. Guinness should not be. That's cold flow, super chilled Guinness. I don't get it.
Now that Redbreast 12 goes down extremely well. I wonder what my sister wants. There you go. Brian Cassidy, have a great Christmas, guys. Same to you, Brian. Have a good Christmas.
Cheers, Brian. Thank you.
Declan Boyle is saying hello. Whoa, 12 in the bar, 3 a.m. in the house. All right, not so bad. That is a late night. Is there snow in Texas?
No. It's just a little bit cool today to be sitting out there. So I didn't want to sit out there and it being a little bit cool. So I thought I'll sit in here. So I just moved in for a bit more homely feel.
Yes. Frank Hearn saying, good evening, all. Dark silky in hand, waiting for my midnight arriving.
Yum, 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 yum.
Very good. Shall I hit the button?
Hit the button, buddy. Still love it.
It even sounds a bit Christmassy, that doesn't it? I don't know why. It does.
It's very Dad's Army. Very Dad's Army. Aye. So,
talking of the dark silky,
talking of the dark sulky. This is some new releases that were announced this week, and well, our good friends down in Sleeve League or down in Ardra and brought out finally their Midnight Sulky. 46 € a bottle, can be purchased online. Now, this is part of their core range, so it's not one of the single cask strength ones. This is the part of their core range, so it should be available all the time. Well, like most of these things, they kind of sell it quite quickly and then come back in again. So it's non-chill filtered, 46%, because as James has said before, he couldn't afford a chill filtration system, so he wants to keep it non-chill filtered. But yeah, so this, I laugh whenever you read what's in this, because it's just got basically everything. 35% triple distilled peated single malt, a blend of 5 different single malts. And it's finished in, wait for this, it's finished in sherry, bourbon, oloroso, red wine, virgin oak and imperial stout casks. So basically, tick, 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 tick. But anybody who went down on the trip with us has tasted this. And
a very unusual beast. A very unusual beast.
Very unusual beast. But everyone that's tasted it, I know has tasted it, thinks it's superb. It's all Christmassy. It's kind of sweet. It's got a very dry peat to it. Christmassy, lovely stuff. Yeah, so get yourselves a bottle. You honestly will not be disappointed by it. Like all the Silky range, it's sourced at the minute because the distillery is just not finished, but it's exceptionally well blended.
Michael Matthews is saying he's a big fan of the Silky whiskey. Peter Stewart saying he's missed out on it, fell asleep at midnight, sold out the next morning. Mark Kerr agrees with us that it's a gorgeous tipple. And there's insider knowledge, maybe there, is it? John Dunn, a very small amount of Jameson 21 is coming into Northern Ireland next week. It'll be going straight to retail, more for anyone who's issues with delivery. Okay, yeah. All right.
Well, put it like this, I won the ballot for it, and then they said they couldn't send it north, so I can't be bothered. I'd like to get my hands on it. I'd like to get tasting it, but I'll not go out of my way, to be honest.
And there's Tony Sillett saying the signal is playing up your end. No, it's as smooth as silk. The snow is a special effect, by the way. The snow is a special effect. Do not adjust your shits. No, it's pretty smooth tonight. It all seems in sync. Tony, it must be down at your end. There you go.
Right. The new Silky is still there, as far as I think it's still in stock, because it's part of their core range. If it's not there, give it a few days and get back to them, because it should be coming in.
Yeah. Stacey McAllister, she's no luck in getting it. John Dunn, it's still in stock. The signal is playing up there as well with you. The signal's not playing up. I'm watching a different system here beside us, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty good. If you're having trouble, remember, go over to Facebook, go over to LinkedIn, go over to YouTube. If you're on one of those, go to a different one, and you should be able to see it. It's pretty smooth tonight, and I'm getting 5 bars of signal. And Marty's broadband, let's face it, only Elon Musk gets better broadband than Marty. His broadband is like 150 meg or something like that. Mine's about 50.
It's a slight improvement in comparison to what there is in Glenarm. It's just like, yeah. So there's Mark Kerr saying he's just ordered the Silky a couple of minutes ago. Guys, try it again, because it maybe just there's something wrong with the allocation whenever you try to buy it. But go on and see if you can pick it up now.
And remember, depending on where you are, sometimes the .ie site doesn't work. Go to the .co.uk site, or something like that if there's dual sites, so there's no issues with it on YouTube at all. There you go. No, YouTube, smooth as silk.
So. Now, next up, Dunville's released another single cask. They're trying to bankrupt everybody, I think. 18-year-old Oloroso sherry cask, cask number 991, bottled at 55%, 661 bottles, £240 or €275, and now it's available through the distributor High Spirits. That's who it's bottled for. Now, for a list of their stockists, you need to go onto their website. It'll be certain available places and certain sites. So just go through them and really check that out. This will be as good as all the rest of them, I'm quite sure. And it'll be creamy, lots of figs, lots of dark fruits, ginger, cloves, etc., etc. Ecklandville, by the way, are, if you want to go and buy, say, a Christmas present, they're doing 10% off their online shop. So if you're thinking of buying someone a bottle of whiskey maybe for Christmas, they guarantee delivery in Ireland. Just check that, in Ireland before Christmas, if you book it before Sunday, and that 10% offers on up until then. So go on and check that out. Next bottle is the Bill Phil, or the W.D. O'Connell have announced the release of their first pot still. It's the, now I hate to pronounce it because I can't speak Irish. Thomasine or Thomasine. That's what they're going to be calling it. It's sourced from the Great Northern Distillery. It's 5-year-old, matured in first fill Bourbon and then Bill Phil peated casks. 49%, €80 a bottle. Went on sale last night. There's only 250 bottles of it, and it's sold out. But it might be one that people will be able to pick up at auction in a secondary market. Probably won't soar up too much. So you'll be able to, if you get it, probably be quite a nice one. The Bill Phil and the W.D. O'Connell range do tend to be quite good, quite well picked, well chosen casks, and well finished. So yeah, so that's 3 that was released this week. So yeah, have a look for them.
Plenty of new releases out there. Frank Hearn was saying he was at Short Cross this week, and they're bottling their whiskey ready for collection and delivery next week.
Yeah, this is the £300 bottle, and this is the inaugural one. And there's a lot of, you can still buy this. This is a fairly historic bottling in that it's the first distilled, matured, all done in Northern Ireland, all done on site pretty much. And there's a lot of controversy. Oh, it's £300. The problem is, if it went out at £90, it would have been £300 on the secondary market. So there's a bit of an issue. It's a bit too much for people to buy to drink, and on the secondary market, nobody's going to make any money out of it. So it'll trickle out, and then suddenly it'll all be gone. So if you're thinking of buying one, get it picked up probably sooner rather than later. Well,
I was noticing the wee trick Bimber had done. I don't know whether you'd noticed this or not. Marty been away in Texas for another few months, but Bimber actually have a near field thing in the cork, and they can encourage you to hold on to your bottle rather than flip it, because they give discounts off your purchase, of your next purchase, and stuff, and other sort of good stuff by running the competition, which is a very intelligent way to stop the flippers making you hang on to the bottle. But all that does is it delays it and puts it up, does it not?
Well, the thing is, just nobody particularly likes flippers, so right, let's get that out, just set that out. But the thing is, they do play a part in the market. They do create a buzz, and they do put it out. Some of them they make quite a lot of money on, and some of them people buy them and put them out, and they're not making anything on. Some of them times they make a loss. I mean, the Dunville's one will probably sell out really quickly, and you'll be able to pick it up in the secondary market for pretty much the same as what you'd have bought it for. That'll not last forever, because once a lot of people wider field get to realise just how good Dunville's is, especially the single casks, it'll just disappear.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, I see quite a lot of people coming on saying that they've just bought the Midnight Silky there now. So good.
I have. Andrew McAllister said he's just have you. You won't be disappointed. It is very unusual.
Another cracker from him.
I mean, it's almost like the smoke monster from Lost. That's what it's like. It comes from nowhere and goes whoa like that there on you. But anyway,
it's funny because I got much more peat on the finish than I did actually on the palate. It's really good. It's really well crafted, really well blended. So another cracker from them.
William McLennan is saying, "Merry Christmas, all! Merry Christmas to you." We are going out on. We're going to do a wee skit on Christmas night, probably about 10 o'clock. If you've got a new tablet, you can try it out and see if the reception's any better there. Remember, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Anchor, and you can ask your smart speaker wherever you get your podcast from to play Irish Whiskey Review, and our voices will appear out of the ether. Now, what I was going to say something else there. Can't remember. Yes, don't be alarmed. Boris is about to appear.
Right. Now, the reason this brought up, good news for Northern Irish distillers this week. Whiskey made in Northern Ireland. That's good news for all of Ireland, to be honest. Whiskey made in Northern Ireland is going to benefit from the UK-Australian trade deal. And this will probably set a precedent for other things going forward. The agreement was signed on Friday. And what they've agreed is that whiskey distilled in the Republic of Ireland, but matured and finished in Northern Ireland, benefits from the zero tariffs. So take this, for example. This wonderful, wonderful whiskey, Black Bush. There's a grain content in this because this is a blend. Now, currently, there's not much grain distilling done in Northern Ireland. So it's bought historically. It's bought from Bindleton and brought up and finished in Bushmills. Now, if this hadn't been agreed, that would have been subject to tariffs, which seems a bit strange. When you've signed a UK trade agreement. So William Lavelle of the Irish Whiskey Association, who's been campaigning to say that this is a historic supply agreement, has got it put through, and the other people are working on it too. So William Lavelle has said the reform of rules of origin in the new free trade agreement will protect traditional supply chains and will support Northern Irish distillers as they target export growth in Australia. So well done to them. This is good news for everybody, really, because the Irish distillers, north and south, get to sell their product essentially to the Aussies with zero tariffs.
It's good. We're skipping back there a bit. Jordy Burke is saying we only have the Legendary Silvery and Dark Silvery available in Prince Edward Island, Canada, but I'm pretty sure they're shipping stuff to North America, aren't they? They are, yeah.
This is part of their core range, so it will be coming. So hopefully you'll get it soon, and you'll not be disappointed.
And there's Tony Sillett saying he bought new ones this week from his local Welsh distillery, Aber Falls. You've got to support local business. Yes, it is the time to support local business. Absolutely. Everybody in Northern Ireland got £100 to support local business, which we've all got to spend by the 19th. Yes, I've spent mine. I have 44p left. They're getting it back. But
mine's all disappeared.
The rest of my family got it down to the penny, thanks to me, because I realised I couldn't spend the last 44p. There you go.
Not that you wouldn't try.
Not that I wouldn't try. Yeah,
no. No. So yeah, that was good news this week for the Northern Ireland distillers and Irish grain producers too. So, not so good news for lots of people is that China have decided to change the rules. Oh, that's a lineup of all the Northern Irish.
Yeah, that's all right. Yep. Oh, there we go. China. There you go.
China have changed the customs rules, import rules, and it's for food and drink. And what it is, they have to register with the Chinese customs, and they've been very vague on what it is they actually want. Now, the EU has sent 4 letters asking for more clarity from the General Administration of Customs China. They sound like a fun bunch to be working with. You know, I'd imagine they're quite strict on what they want done. If you don't have the right wee squiggly line on one of the characters in China, I don't think you would get in. You know, I would imagine they're quite retentive would be a good word for it. You know,
yes.
Spirit producers in the US have also asked for clarity. So one of the things is it'd be great for the exporters, But if China start buying Irish whiskey and stuff, it's already pricey enough. Can you imagine what it's going to be if they start buying it? Bottle of Black Bush will cost you about a kidney.
We'll run out. We'll run out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would.
So yeah, it's there's this. Everybody's wanting to sell to China and India, but they seem to be making it a little bit harder. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But at the minute, even the US bottlers and big, massive distilleries are having problems. But it'll probably be remedied.
Superb. Now,
nice Christmas for this one.
Yeah, there's some strange characters in the world of whiskey, and this guy might be one of them.
This is Mr. Brian Marshall. Now, for someone who has sold his entire whiskey collection and made the national press, he doesn't look overly chuffed about it, to be fair. Okay, he sold 4,000 miniatures, for which he got £30,000. Now, he also sold a book, by the way. He sold the first edition of Alfred Bernard's Distilleries of the UK, and that went for £2,280. The little bottle that he's holding there is that one. And it's a Macallan Private Eye 35th anniversary. The Macallan prices are just ridiculous. I mean, they're beyond silly at times. And that one little bottle he sold went for £340, which probably the way Macallan prices are going, that's probably a bit of a bargain. So a box set of 4 Springbank miniatures went for £1,054. And that's probably going to be a bargain in the future, I would have thought.
Is it true this guy doesn't even like whiskey?
Yeah, that's what he said. He's happy because he thought that the whole thing would be worth about 7,000 or 8,000, and he got 30, and he's happy enough because he doesn't like the taste of whiskey.
He's a bit like me. I don't like the taste of whiskey, but I've managed to find at least 3 this year that I do like. They're delicious, actually. The aroma of this is unbelievable. Oh,
That's because you have that lovely sweet palate, You like your sweet palate.
I know.
Now, another big news for a Scottish distillery. This one, Glen Weavers Community Distillery up in Dingwall in Scotland, have given their inaugural release. 2,000 bottles, bottled at 50% ABV. Anyone who's not familiar with the story of Glen Weavers, what they did was a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, they decided that they wanted to. I quite like the packaging. Bring that packaging back up full screen for me, Justin. I like this because this sort of shows the topography of the whole area, and you see the little bird up at the top. It's a red kite, which is found flying. It's a really, really nice packaging design.
It's contemporary, but it does convey whiskey at the same time, doesn't it?
It looks really cool. I think it looks really cool. Now, the story behind them is they decided to have a community-backed distillery, and there's something like 3,000 investors in it now. Their members, this is quite cool. There's more members' bottles went out than went out in their initial inaugural bottling. So there was 3,600 bottles of the members' bottles, but 2,000 then for their inaugural release, which I think it's quite a nice thing. The members get the bottles. So this was a video from a couple of years ago when I think they just broke ground or something in the distillery, or they just had started up.
Oh, I have no idea what's happening. Hold on to switch off the snow to see if that makes a difference. Oh, it does. I can name press it.
It's dried up here.
Well, tomorrow is the community launch of the Glen Weavers Distillery, up here at the heights of Docharte. Those who are coming up tomorrow will get a tour of the distillery as it is, bearing in mind there's still some cosmetics and finishing touches to be applied.
This project really is nearly 5 years in the making. Me flying around the Highlands, a chance meeting with a renowned tour guide with some international visitors visiting some island distilleries, and we got talking about Dingwall and this huge history that existed. At the same time, a community project I was involved in was just successfully raised £1 million for a wind turbine, so it sowed this seed that maybe we could do something really special and create this first community-owned distillery. And without those people behind me, there's now 3,000 members, this would not have happened. This is obviously slightly different to the original plan. I would say it's bigger and better.
In 1784, Robbie Burns lamented, "Be fed and taught, so sadly lost." And now on St Andrew's Day, 2017, we've all come together to say Glen Weavers is here and is here to stay. With the success of today, pave the way for the future successes of tomorrow.
If we go back to the early days of distilling, distilleries were built on the back of farms. They were community, they were trading their product for other products, and it's almost gone this full circle where we will be taking profits, yes, but those profits will be, a percentage of those profits will be getting reinvested back into the community, and it just brings the community ownership and the giving back. It's a great ethos to be working with.
What do you think of that?
Congratulations, well done, guys. As I say, this is community from start to finish. 3,000 owners as such, and as I say, there a percentage has to go back in. Whatever the profit they make, the more money the community makes, and that's always to be congratulated. You know, so good on them. Yeah, so that's the news for this week.
Right.
But this week we're going to do a little bit different. Well, different. We always kind of do stuff different. This is going to be in the run up to Christmas. This is Scrooge. This is good and the bad. Okay, this is some of the good stuff that happens, some of the pretty crappy things that are going on and whatnot. Now, the first up is the Friends of Middleton Facebook page are running a charity auction. Oh, here we go. This is not to do with the Friends of Middleton, by the way. They're not Jekyll and Hyde. They're not. No.
But this is we're going to do one side of whiskey and the other side of whiskey. So there's the charitable side and then the con artist side of it as well.
Pretty much, yes. That's what we're wanting to do. And what the Friends of Middleton page are doing their auction for the Capuchin charity, which is for homeless people and stuff. And let's be honest, at Christmas time, homelessness isn't always about people lying in the street, okay? It's about families who don't have houses, they're in temporary accommodation and crappy places and so on and so forth, which is a lot more common. And helping people out and getting people accommodation and getting people homes so they can stay in. So there is some amazing stuff in this. 28 lots. I wrote this down because I have to write all this stuff down, I can't remember. There's 28 lots currently, and there's some very, very nice things. So there's VIP tastings, and this will be really top-notch VIP tastings. From Dingle, Friends of Middleton are doing a Powers tasting, and Ecklandville are doing a tasting. The Ecklandville VIP tastings are €1,100. Jarlath's going to have to brush up there. He's going to have to pull out all the stops, you know. That needs to be a good one. If someone's paying €1,100 for a VIP taste, I would imagine they get to pick whatever barrel they want, you know. So excellent. Good on the guys, you know. Good on them. Killowen, our friends down at Killowen are again pulling out something a bit special. And this isn't a whiskey because it's only 2.5 years old, but this is a bottle 1 of 1. There's only going to be one of these. They are. I've brought up the picture there.
Of
Killowen.
Yes,
I was talking about Killowen there. That would be the one. That would be the one. Now pull it up. Now, so this is their special bottling. Now, as you can see, this is lot number 7, and it's been redacted because they've sort of scribbled out the word whiskey because it's technically not whiskey. This is bottle one of one. And if you are interested in collecting cologne stuff, this is a proper unicorn bottling, because there isn't any more of them. There won't ever be any more of them, and it'll be a hard act to follow. So that's fantastic. Now, there's various finishing times on them. Go to the Facebook page and think. But probably the most special of all of them, if I'm totally honest, in my opinion, this would be obviously just my opinion, is lot number 16 from the Bailach Distillery down in Donegal. This is going to be this is a one-man band, and they bring out gin, Mulroy Bay gin. The first ever bottle, what you're looking at there, will be the first ever bottle under the label of the Bailach Distillery. There's only going to be 2 of these. There'll be that one and one that will be kept for the distillery archive. So this will be the only one that potentially will ever be opened, I would have thought. Okay. 85% 4-grain pot still, 15% heavily peated, aged in a 20-litre port season cask, only filled with 10 litres of spirit, and it's going to be bottled at 52.8%. You'll also get, to say it's the only bottle, it's not actually true, because you'll get 100 millilitres sample bottle.
To try, at least you get to try it.
At least you get to taste it.
Yeah.
But this bottle will be unique. There won't be. This is the first bottle of whiskey that these get that this will be under that brand. Now, do you remember we talked about the Distillers Guild held the auction a few weeks ago, where they were auctioning unicorn bottles, and they raised hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands for charity. It turned out that they actually infected everybody with COVID. Everybody had to isolate off it. Yeah. It was everybody had to isolate after it because of Omicron made its appearance. That's where it happened in Scotland. But
that's terrible.
Getting back to this is unique. Now, I checked earlier on. It's probably changed by now. That bottle was only sitting at something like €700. If anybody's collecting whiskey, and anyone think that's one you want, okay, that is one you want to be getting your hands on, because there isn't any more of it. There isn't any more of it. It's a proper whiskey. The label hasn't even been done yet for it, so it's something a bit special.
It's good. The Michael Matthews is saying there's some fantastic items in that auction. Yes, there certainly is.
Fantastic.
And William McClanton saying he got a bottle of the cologne this week.
Oh, very nice. Well done, William. You'll just depending on which one it is, remember to put a little bit of water in it, because some of them are a little bit punchy at what they're at.
I wonder where he went to get it. He might have had to travel to get it, because I tried looking in locally and I couldn't get it. But there you go.
It tends to sell out quite quickly. So congratulations to John McDougall and all who are running this. At the minute, the auction's standing at €19,000 raised already. Now, it's not finished yet. Anybody who wants to go, you can jump on, put your bids in for the bottles before it finishes. As I say, have a look through them. 28 lots. Some of them are particularly special. I just have to pick out a couple of ones that I would really like. Unfortunately, my pockets probably aren't that deep, but I would really, really like. So yeah, after this, there's a raffle to come as well. So they're going to be raffling. But go on. There's loads of stuff. All the big players have done stuff for it. So there's bottles of Middleton. There's tastings for Belfast Whisky Week, etc., etc. So it's all there. Go and have a look at it and do a bit for charity over Christmas. Okay. So that's the good, Justin. That's some of the saintly stuff.
There you go. It's Lusties and Lauren. He managed to get the 6-year-old. There you go. So
Lusties and Lauren do have a really nice range of stuff.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Now,
Lauren High Street was blocked today. Main Street in Lauren was blocked because of some car drove into a shop. Did you know that? No?
Oh, I saw something in the news, or somebody referred to something in the news, but no.
There's Keith McCann saying Muller Bay offering their first ever bottle is amazing. Exceptional generosity. It is.
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's case. You know? There you go. There's Michael Massey saying, "What are we donate? What are we donating, lads? We wish we could, but unfortunately, because we get all these people interviewed, I get loads of requests every year to abseil off the Europa Hotel and stuff like that, and I don't do things like that because I'm not mad, okay? And I obviously couldn't afford to donate to every single charity I interviewed or we mentioned. No offense.
I keep trying to get Justin to jump off the Obaltar. Never mind that.
I actually did share to the radio station's thousands of followers. I did share a thing about I think it was homeless as a charity for homelessness today that Trek and I were doing, you know. And yes, obviously, if every charity that engaged with us, I give to, I would have no money myself to live. All right, so don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Don't shoot the messenger. There you go. Now, where are we heading tonight?
We're going to. Well, I'm going to be a bit local here in Texas, actually, and we'll talk a little bit about the bad, or possibly bad. I don't want to be sued, but
now, am I Dr. Jekyll, or you Mr. Hyde, or who's who there? I think I have to be green with envy because of all the lovely mails you're getting in Texas.
Well, the only thing is, do you know what? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's very strange. You know, it was based on what's his name, Brodie, Deacon Brodie, up in Edinburgh. He was a religious figure. He was very pious, and he was a carpenter. And he made all these lovely cabinets and stuff and doors for people. But at night he made keys and went in and robbed them all. So he's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You can go to the Deacon Brodie pub in Edinburgh. It's quite nice. It's around well. Now, this one. It's to do with the Whisky and Wealth Club. This week, they were served with a cease and desist notice from the Texas State Securities Board. Now, this 9-page document was published, and I'm going to read through it. It's from the Texas State Securities Board, and it goes through. You'll share the link for it here.
Yes, there's the link. It's on screen. You can click it yourself, download it, and read it. It's quite interesting reading.
It's very interesting reading. Basically, anyone who's not aware of this, Whisky and Wealth Club are trying to sell casks of whiskey at discounted prices and telling you that there's potentially this amount of earnings to be made from them, etc., etc. There's a couple of bits in it. You can read through it yourselves and judge for yourself what you think of it. It's not. If I had my money invested with them, I would be thinking, I would like to try and get some of my money back out of it again, if it's at all possible, which it's not. And it talks about how they buy. Respondents are claiming they sold 258 pallets of whiskey from the beginning of the pandemic through 24th of June 2020. Respondents also claiming they sold 111.2 pallets of whiskey for 1.8 million in September, an increase of almost 54% compared to the thing. Now it goes on to start telling you about all of the people involved with it are, and I quote, intentionally failing to disclose the business repute, experience, and qualifications of the respondent, and this information constitutes a material fact. So basically what they're saying is that these guys who are running this are not disclosing basic information, which is sort of basic business practice. They say that they're buying whiskey from the Bladnoch Distillery, but that they're comparing the investment potential, and again, I'm quoting from the thing, respondents are intentionally failing to disclose the strategies for identifying, negotiating and selling whiskey to brands in general, generating annualized profits of 12 to 20% for investors, and this information constitutes a material fact. To be honest, it doesn't actually make for good reading for Bladnoch Distillery either. Scottish distillery over in the Lowlands in Scotland. Probably for me, the interesting bit is really comes down to points 41 through to 43. As described herein, Respondent Whisky and Wealth Club was only incorporated with Companies House on or around November the 2nd, 2018, less than 3 years preceding the date of this order. Nevertheless, Respondent Whisky and Wealth Club is claiming that generated returns of 12 to 20% for investors who hold their investment for at least 3 years, and ideally between 5 and 10 years. The statement relating to the returns 12 to 20% for investors who hold their investment for at least 3 years, and ideally between 5 and 10 years, are therefore materially misleading or otherwise likely to deceive the public in light of the fact the Respondent Whisky and Wealth Club was incorporated less than 3 years ago. This doesn't make for good reading for the company.
No, Michael Matthews sums it up. Get professional advice before entering any business deal. Unfortunately, I know people who fell for sales patter at a big cost.
Now, Irish journalist Bill Lenihan, who quite funnily bills himself as Ireland's worst journalist, he wrote a piece on this a couple of years ago and share the link on that as well, because it's a superb piece, document, goes through lots and lots and lots of stuff. The money involved with whiskey these days is huge, and there's lots and lots of charlatans out. This week, that being flagged up, there are plenty of other areas and countries, who they probably don't fall foul of any of the stipulations,
hurdles,
whatever, and people are free to invest their money in whoever they want. But I wouldn't be giving them any of my money. That's all I'm saying. I signed up to their newsletter or their email listing a couple of years ago. I actually got a phone call from a couple of them a couple of times, and I wasn't convinced in any shape or form. It's all well and good to say that Macallan has soared in value, or Springbank has soared in value, or etc., etc., etc. To then say that you are all whiskey does the same just isn't true. Okay, be careful with your money, and go and read Bill Lenihan's article. It's really, really well researched, really, really well done, and it's written quite funnily too, because he's quite a character.
Yep, there's the full link on screen there now, and check it out for yourself.
Yeah, go and check it out.
Now, what's next tonight?
Now, this is a sort of mix of good and bad. You've probably seen, I'm being here in the States, I've seen an awful lot more of this. It's the devastation wreaked by the tornadoes in Kentucky. Now, I was going to say, thankfully, none of the distilleries were that badly, but the distilleries don't really matter. It's a bit of a consequential thing. It's a stupid thing to say. None of the distilleries were affected, but lots of people who work for the distilleries and so on have been affected off and on in various ways, including people with multiple deaths, and certainly family members and stuff that have passed away and perished. But again, there's another charity auction. Now, I'm telling people about these charity auctions because I know guys are interested in some of this stuff. The website, if you go to it, and you have the website there, haven't you?
I have indeed, yes. It's just about to pop on screen as you speak.
It's the Kentucky Bourbon Benefit, and it's one.bidpal.net. And there's some amazing stuff in it too. I mean, it's just, wow. There are experiences, there's one-off bottles, there is handwritten lyrics from Anthrax's Scotty, which I don't know, I'm sure there's probably plenty of Anthrax fans watching this, and these have all been donated to raise money to help. If you've seen how, I mean, the sheer scale of the devastation there's unbelievable. It blew a train over. I mean, how bad was the winds when it can blow a train over? But there are bottles of stuff. I mean, just again, unicorn bottles, bottles of fantastic things. Our old friends from the Leopold brothers, they're 3-chambered still. They have a bottle of rye. I think I looked through it. It's currently $860. I mean, some of this is really, really, really collectible. Really, really nice, and you're going to be helping out a charity. Now, this has been organised by one of the, arguably one of the big whiskey reviewers in the world. Not arguably, one of the biggest, possibly the biggest whiskey reviewer, Fred Minnick. So good on them. Again, have a look, and just have a look through, see if there's anything there that you like. Put your bids in, and you're doing some good at Christmas. You'll benefit. Lots of people will benefit in the long run, because some of these bottles, you can't get them anywhere else.
It just goes to show you, like all walks of life, there's good sides and bad sides to it, isn't there?
Well, that's it. People coming together to help each other out. I mean, what more Christmassy thing can you have? You know, and people who collect whiskey, there'll be stuff there, and don't be scared to pay a bit more premium, either the Friends of Middleton one, the Kentucky Bourbon Benefit one, and go on. As I say, if you're a collector, this is your chance to get stuff you can't get any other time, and they're doing real good for everybody, you know. So yeah, I think it's something a bit special.
It would scare the bejesus out of me, something like that coming down on me. And I mean, look, it was just squished. The entire town was just squished beyond belief, you know.
There was some stuff in the news over here, and it was some guy was coming in a helicopter, and he said when he was coming in, he saw houses all over, and they looked as if they'd been sort of flattened and devastated and whatnot, and they were outlying. And then he realised they've been built in very strange places. And what they'd found was that the house itself had actually been lifted and set somewhere. And this had happened multiple times. And I mean, utter devastation. So it's nice to see the bourbon community coming together and helping alleviate some of the suffering for some people, especially at this time of year.
It is indeed. Now,
what's Tony Sellett saying there? I've been offered a full cask, but when you do the numbers, it soon goes crazy. Duty plus bottles, plus labels, plus corks, plus insurance each year. Yeah. Put it like this: some of these casks, will probably soar in value. That's just what happens. But if anyone has bought casks with the idea of making vast fortunes of money, by the time you take in some of the distilleries offer these inaugural casks, but don't include bottling. They'll charge you for bottling. If you want to sell them, you need certain licenses depending on what way you're going to sell them. You need to have an off license, or you might need a wholesaler's license. On a small scale, you'll not make any money at this, and certainly not at this price that the inaugural casks are being offered at. I mean, some of these are going for €10,000 or whatever, and you're not going to make any money at it, if I'm totally honest. So I have a cask down at Eckmanville. I've told everybody about this, a pot still. I've no idea what I'll ever do with it. You never know what I would do with it, but because I personally really, really bought into the story. I really like the story. But if you do the numbers, it's not cheap. It's not cheap, and even at cost, the bottles are still quite expensive. So I don't think I'll ever make any money at it. But you never know. But just be just be aware of where you're going to put your money.
Yes, right. And if you want to avoid scams, here's a handy tool that will help you avoid scams as well. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. This is a Twitter page. It's Whisky Scam Alert. Now, a couple of weeks ago, one of the reasons I wanted to do this tonight is a couple of weeks ago there was someone come up on the feed. Now, we have no real way of stopping this off the bat. I think everybody's well aware of the scams that come on.
Yeah, most people in Northern Ireland didn't come up the lock in a bubble.
No, we didn't. We weren't born yesterday, sort of thing. But anyone who gets in contact with you to say, "Oh, I've got a cheap bottle for sale," beep, 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 beep. It's a bit like the guy in the pub who used to come up and go, "I've got a cheap watch for sale." Blah blah blah. It's either nicked or it's crap, right? We know that. Okay, so there's a Twitter page called Whisky Scam Alert, and what this guy does is he looks for scam pages, scam shops that have been set up. There are shops, an entirety online shops have been set up. Facebook was rife with this for a little while. Twitter probably still is a bit guilty of it because they're set up as pages. I've been approached electronically by people wanting to sell me bottles really, really cheap. Now, this is a set of guidelines to avoid online scams. Okay, I actually was talking to Whisky Scam Alert this week, and I asked him, do you want to come on the show and explain to some people? And what he said was, no, because I've upset some international criminals and they're really, really not happy with me, which kind of tells you the scale that this is at. It's the same as everything else. Money's involved in it. People are going to try and take your money off you. Have a wee look at these rules of these things. If it doesn't look good, it's probably not. I saw a bottle posted up online here today. I'm not saying where, I'm not saying whatever, and it looks fantastic. But I've never seen one of them before, and I'd love to, if it's legit, I'd love to buy it. I'd love to have it. I'd love to get it. I would sell certain bottles to pick it up, but I would need to look at it. You need to, and that's why it's worth buying through an auction site, because somebody else at least has had a look at it, set eyes on it, and prepared to stand over it.
These guidelines, and there's 8 of them, they're dead simple. Do your research. If you Google it and Google somebody else's experience, you might find, well, they're different from what they're saying. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. Don't buy a bottle from a stranger online. I mean, people on here that half know each other from watching this for a year and a half, that's a different story, But
yeah,
there's people have asked for my address. I've given. They sent me nice stuff. We've sent them nice stuff. That's fair enough, right? Watch out for sellers initiating contact out of the blue, because if you look at some of these people in some of these sites, they don't have any friends or family. They've only posted for a week or a day. Now, some of them are a bit more sophisticated and they've been posted for a while, but it ain't a real account. Reverse image search, okay? So you can see if it's stolen from somebody else's auction or somebody else's collection. If they're dead anxious for you to do the deal there and then, they want to cut and run. And, if they want to say, oh, can we do it by a Tesco gift card, or do it rather than meeting in a car parking pit? No, that doesn't sound right either. And if you're getting something that's too cheap, that should be dear. I went to buy an Apple speaker, right? I went to buy an Apple speaker, and it was such a good deal. I said to the wee girl, you really want to sell this for 30 quid? And she said, yes, because it's too heavy for me. And I went, fair enough. I give her the money. But it's a 300-watt speaker, and you don't get a 300-watt speaker for 30 quid unless somebody just wants rid of it.
Yeah.
So, if it's too good to be true, it is. So don't get caught out, guys. And when these people appear on here, I couldn't possibly, we're getting hundreds, if not thousands, of comments and something. I couldn't look through them all and say what's legit and what's not. Okay.
Yeah. And this is always going to be a problem with everything. And it's just, if there's certain guidelines and certain tools, as I say, if you go to Whisky Scam Alert, it's at Whisky Scam on Twitter, Whisky EY. he flags up things, more and more pages and people and whatnot, and Connor's just on there saying, yeah, there's a lot of these appeared Facebook in the last while, yet they have, and it's usually bourbon. And if you go to Whiskey Scammer, he's located in the States, so he's doing his stuff there. So yeah, just keep your wits about you guys. I really don't want anybody lost any money.
And of course, the reason they're posted on this is because this weekly show and podcast making an impact. They know whiskey lovers are watching it, and that's why they're targeting us, because there'll be newbies in here that are going, oh, that looks like a lovely deal. I'll maybe try and get that bottle. I've heard you talk. It doesn't exist. All right.
And the thing is, it's the same as everything else. If they can send out 1,000 people, and one person bites the bullet and they get $500 or whatever off these people, it's a nice day's work for them, you know. And so, yeah, just have your wits about you, and that's basically it. So a few tools just to keep up. Go and have a look at those auctions. See if there's anything you want to buy, and do your bit for charity. Hopefully, over the next day or two.
Now we're going to catch you next Saturday for
Christmas
a short while. Christmas Day.
Brussels sprout in hand.
Basically, we want to have a nosy and see what you got.
I know. That's what we want to do. Just wait nosy and see if anybody's getting nice for Christmas. If you got a lovely bottle.
So somebody said here it was their wife that queued for 2 hours to get the bottles that they wanted. and then it's tonight somewhere. I can't find it. There's too many. But yes, or if you manage to sit on the website when it appears and get something nice, you get that warm feeling inside that you've managed to beat everybody else to it. But it's near impossible to do. Sometimes I know all about it. So that's about it. We'll catch you next Saturday night, 10 p.m. for 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. Thanks very much. Same time, same place, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. You probably won't be sober by 10 p.m. on Christmas night.
It'll only be 3 o'clock here, and I'll probably still be half wine.
Oh, you'll be just waiting. You'll be waiting for the Queen's speech. That's right, 3 o'clock. Yeah. The Queen's recording. Great show. Yes, happy Christmas. Happy Christmas to everybody. Happy Christmas to you. Have a good one. We'll speak to you next Saturday, 7 days away, Christmas night. Thank you very much, Sean. There you go. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. Parrot Brook Mulry, Merry Christmas to you. Have a good one. Yeah, hope everybody has a very good Christmas, and let's hope for an even prosperous or more COVID-free New Year than it's been. Yeah.
Listen, happy Christmas, everybody, and we'll speak to you. We'll speak to you live on Christmas Day for maybe a little bit, maybe a wee bit.
All right, there you go. All right, take it easy. Good night. Good night. There you go. Keith McCann, we'll let you have the last word. Fair play, lads. Happy Christmas. All right.
Take care, guys.